You want to fly in the background? Or you just saying that something else?
Yeah, you can put it in the background because that way
Okay.
kind of speak to both. They align directly with each other as one of the programs.
Okay. It's here. Well, I don't know which one it is.
Oh no, that's like an email.
Oh, okay.
The signature so that they make us put on there.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Let me see, Mitchell. Attachments. Let's see. Okay, there's the bio. Pictures. Okay, well, I guess you can go ahead and resend it. Just make sure it's at the top. Yeah. Aha, football. I knew it.
Oh, okay.
You already sent it? You already resent it?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. All right, so I'll do your what is YouTube. Okay, I'll do your intro and they have you do your thing, and then whenever you're ready for the flight, let me know and I'll bring it up. We actually already live, so we can go ahead and start. All right, so thank you guys for being here for my behind Thursday morning breakfast. Apologize for the late start. That is most certainly on me and not on our speaker. Everybody should know at this point that Thursday morning breakfast, we are about being the bridge between those that are doing good in the community and those that need that good to be done in their lives. I'm extremely excited about our speaker this morning, Brother Brandon Mitchell, who has a program that I came across by accident. I was at a super neighborhood meeting, went to use the bathroom, came back, looked at the table, a bunch of flyers, saw his absolutely the most compelling thing on the table. And whenever there's a program that's about our youth, and one in particular that's about putting our youth in a position to learn more about these multi-billion-dollar industries in construction and the trades, industries that we used to have at least a foothold in a few years ago. Well, in the 80s, I'm not sure you were around, you were a little bit, but I was around. So, we got to find a way to not only get our people, but definitely get our youth, our children involved in these industries. So Brother Brandon Mitchell is going to talk to us this morning about a program called YouthBuild that's connected to the Houston Housing Authority. Okay, and not only how the program works, but how we can get our kids involved in it. So I'm going to read our brother's bio, then I'm going to have him come up and he's going to do his thing. And then we'll keep it moving. So as always, thank you guys for being here. I sincerely appreciate it. Brother Brandon Mitchell, a paragon. It's a heavy word, but you starting out heavy. Yeah, SAT words. Paragon of paternal commitment has left an indelible mark across various educational, athletic, and community spheres as an illustrious figure. His versatile roles have included serving as psychologist, school district athletic director, retired NFL, assistant principal, collegiate football coach, head coach in football, basketball, and baseball, as well as mentoring NFL, collegiate, and high school players. Amen. Extending his influence beyond the confines of Empowering Texas Families Initiative, Mitchell also assumed the role of YouthBuild job developer for HHA, Houston Housing Authority. Yeah, cool. All right, where with the Houston Housing Authority, I develop young adults ages 16 to 24 who reside in Houston, who are ready to take the next step in life. An engaging program allowing participants to develop their leadership skills, prepare for the workforce, and grow personally while providing them with practical career experience. Mitchell's passion for nurturing and guiding young minds has spanned more than a decade, exemplifying his unwavering dedication to the youth and families. An impassioned individual, he warmly welcomes the opportunity to support and uplift children, families, and the community at large. What is your life passion? My passion is kids. That's a question that was asked to Brother Brandon. Quote, my passion is kids, always have been and always will be. I'm here to create a culture of expecting to win in every aspect of life and accepting nothing less, end quote. Why ETFI? Quote, I believe that every person has a story to tell, stories that will not only engage, inform, surprise, delight, and impact their audience, but that also can be the fuel they need to deliver on measurable goals in which they don't even know yet. Bottom line is my why is to help those individuals to find their why. Okay. Building champions on the courts, fields, classrooms, and their communities, businesses, and families, end quote. And on that note, we're going to bring up Brother Brandon Mitchell, who's going to talk to us about YouthBuild and a number of other things he's working on in the mental health space as well, after the YouthBuild part, and then we'll go from there. So here we have Brother Brandon Mitchell.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. As Mr. Somebody said, my background is definitely youth and kids. I've always been around that age group between the high school age, some of the 7th to 8th grade, junior high, all the way through college and young adults. I specifically got and partnered with the Housing Authority on this grant contract called YouthBuild, which is one of a kind when it comes to housing authorities actually getting these contracts. The former CEO that was with the Housing Authority was very, very passionate about this program coming into the Housing Authority. It speaks directly to the constituents that they actually service every single day in these different communities. Specifically, we're on the campus of CUNY Home. That's what everything is housed at. YouthBuild has been around with the DOL and the government since 1978, so it's not a new program. It's just kind of new to what we're doing.
DOL?
Yes, sir. Department of Labor.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So it's been around for a very long time, and the acronyms of it is literally just what it is. It's youth building, and it specifically speaks to the construction piece. Back when it first started, the original idea of the youth build was to have the residents at these different housing authorities build their own housing and build sustainable careers and job development opportunities. So that's one of the things that is going on with CUNY Home, with those new renovations that's going to be happening within the next 3 to 5 years. The plan is to have these young adults come into the program, get these different trades through the NERSA, the NCCER, OSHA, different IT, different backgrounds, different things like that. And one of the perks for them being in the program is actually if they don't have a high school diploma or GED, it's different things like that. We want to provide that education, and all these different things are completely at no charge to the participants. Specifically, there's a few different parameters that kind of goes into YouthBuild. That early age, the youngest age is 16. They have to be.
You may bring the flag?
You can bring it up. Yeah. So the flag has a few different talking points on it. So the youngest age is actually 16. It goes to 24. 24 can be that tomorrow is my birthday and I'm making 25. If you get enrolled in the program today, then it still counts towards that 24-year-old age. The next thing is that they cannot be currently enrolled in a college education program. So like whether it's like Houston Community College, different things like that, or they have to also be underemployed. So nobody that's already in a big time, career, whether they're working in engineering, different techs, different things like that. We try to service the people that actually need to get their career jump started. The program itself takes anywhere, it's a self-paced program, meaning that depending on the commitment from the constituents and the participants that are in there. The high school component takes anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks, depending on if they already have credits or not. And then getting certified with the NERSA certification can be anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. So you're looking at anywhere between like a 4 to 10 month program typically. And what we do, we have different roles inside of those programs. You have a case manager that works with everything from the kid needing a ride, might need some help with daycare, might need other services when it comes to like the mental health, life skills training, different things like that. We also have instructors. So you have a classroom instructor that helps facilitate the different high school diploma stuff that we have going on. And we specifically partner with an online platform that is also self-paced, and they don't have a traditional classroom schedule online. So they're literally able to work on their high school diploma, whether that's at home by themselves, in class. They can it's open 24/7 for them to get ahead.
So it sounds like it's the kind of program, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Whereby you guys are looking to, excuse me, catch those kids who didn't do what they should have done while they were in high school, to equip them so they can have a life worth living after high school.
So it's a twofold to that. So
Okay.
yes, that's a lot of participants that do come to us.
Okay.
But we also like to go to a lot of the parents and stuff. They might have a kid, that say a lot of times you get those the families that are new to America, right?
Okay.
And then they just need some different money and stuff like that in the household. So the kid might be trying to get ahead or missing school or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe they're very, very smart and they are doing everything they want, but they're like, hey, sitting in class traditionally isn't helping me. I'm trying to get graduated faster.
Okay.
So we can put them online. They can be 16 or a sophomore. They can go from being a sophomore, and then in 4 months they can actually graduate high school and move on to the next step.
Oh, wow.
So it's for students that want to fast track their career, but also for young adults that might not have had circumstances that prevented them from being able to do what they needed to do the first time around. Okay. So it's actually a program for that wraps around for every single type of young adult. Okay.
So if you have a kid in high school who doing well, actively engaged, but they have an interest in construction and other trades, they can also be a part of the program as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
Amen. All right.
Yes, sir. And then the other component is that we're focused on that post-secondary education side of it. That is the biggest piece in that statement of work when it comes to the grant, that we want them to actually get a trade. The high school part is a perk, it's not a requirement, but that focus is making sure that we make them employable. So that leads to that third and one of the most important parts of the YouthBuild grant side, that is that job developer. So the job developer goes out and they form all these different relationships with different construction companies. It can be the Lowe's, it can be the huge oil industry, it can be the welding shops, it can be the pipe fitting, anything that deals with construction, OSHA, or anything like that, whether it's IT, safety, it's a large plethora of different things. Then that is the job developer side, to make sure that the young adults are, one, employable. So you're teaching them soft skills like interviewing, how to dress, how to show up on time, how to have these different conversations, and basically just like the life skills, putting tools in their tool bag to be able to make sure that they're presentable. Because not only do we want to get them a job, we want to make sure it's a pipeline when we do, so that way the people that are coming behind them are also able to benefit from that.
So what organization does the soft skills part? You guys do that as well?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we actually do that as well.
Okay.
And then other thing that we do, we contract some of those different things out by bringing in different organizations that might focus on mental health and getting those different partners, which is one of the other one of my companies. So the purpose of it is to make sure that we have an impact. So we're combining the education, the job training, the leadership skills, and trying to break the cycle of poverty, but also, like I said, fast track a lot of the different kids that are looking to get ahead. We focus on that occupational skills training. So you have the construction pathway, which is our main pathway that we want to focus on. The nursery core certification with the OSHA 10 safety certification. They also have the opportunity to do an IT background within those different things. That's done through our partner. Yes, sir.
How old is the program? Because it sounds absolutely phenomenal. And I'm like, I've never heard of it. And his brother Will has been, he's steeped in the community.
Yes, sir.
And when I told him about what you were talking, he was like, oh, wow, I want to know more about what you're talking about. So how old is the program? Because you would think
you would think
it would be all over the place.
Yeah. So the actual YouthBuild program itself has been around since 1978. With the housing authority, I'm a 1991 baby.
I was 8.
I'm a 91 baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With the housing authority specifically, they was awarded a grant back in January. Wow. And this is our actual second cohort of getting everybody kind of going. Okay. So typically every quarter you have a new cohort that comes in. So we're in one right now. We have quite a few young adults in there. And the next
cohort meaning class.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, each class.
You using these SAT words.
Sorry.
Break it down.
And so the next one starts in January. So we're doing those recruiting and orientations every 2 weeks on Wednesdays to get those young adults enrolled for that January side of it. And then the other part is that biggest part. We want to make sure that we're not just finding people that are employed, but we want to make sure that they're leaders in their community. We don't want to just teach somebody how to do something or get them a job. We want to also have them capable of being able to go back and lead and get other young adults that peers to recruit and help them do the same exact thing. And then we talked about like the referral support service. So we partner with like the workforce, different organizations like that help us partner with transportation, mental health support, stipends, the work gear, job placement support, and ongoing mentorship. We actually follow our young adults for 4 years total after the program to make sure that
Wow.
they're still doing
Yeah.
well and still providing them all these different services. So they, might need another certification or something that's come up on a job. We help them find different ways to pay for those things if they are.
So you not only identify them as young people who want to have something going for them,
Absolutely.
but you help them get trained.
Yes, sir.
You help them interview.
Yes,
You
sir.
help them with the soft skills. And if they have problems during or even after the program, you help them even then.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And that's our focus is building a family aspect. So
Okay.
we have what's called a mental toughness week. So when they come in, it's like courting kind of. We make sure that they're a good fit for us, but we also want them to make sure that they're a good fit for us as well.
What's a bad fit for you?
So a bad fit would be somebody that's not ready to come in and grind. Because as you know, construction and different things like that, certification is work.
Yeah.
Whether it's mentally taxing, different things, because you learn new skills that you might not be abrupt to or never have done. So sometimes it can be frustrating to be in a new environment. But we believe that forming those mental and physical calluses are different things that make that foundation grunt work and tough. So that way, whenever they are able, it goes back to that leadership skill. We want to make sure that we're teaching them how to problem solve and not just kind of quit on things, when things like that happen or arise. So we try to, that's why our referral part comes in. We try to eliminate all barriers that we can, whether that's like helping assist with childcare, finding different ways we can do that, finding other scholarships for them, transportation. We actually have buses that we use at the Houston Housing Authority, go by and pick them up, or whether they live a little bit further out. We partner organizations with the transit and public community to help them get there as well.
I have a question, Brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you brought it up because something else Brother Will and I were talking about is I think I saw, pretty sure it was on the website, that you guys aren't all over the place. You are in specific zip codes.
Correct.
And you said earlier that you only focus, as of right now, I think only on the CUNY Homes area.
So our location is the CUNY Homes.
Okay.
But we have 5 dedicated zip codes, but we also have a percentage of that we can have intake from outside of those zip codes.
Okay.
So we have up to about 26 participants that can actually come from outside of that zip code, and that starts over every single year.
Do you know those zip codes off the top of your head?
They're right up here on
they are?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then we actually just redid the grant side of it, and we were adding 7 additional zip codes as well. So the first ones are the 56, 57, 63, 81. We're also adding the 03, the 05. I think it was like a 93 as well that just got amended.
Which one is CUNY Homes? Do you know?
CUNY Homes is the one that just got added. That is like the 03 one.
03 one. Okay, and I'm assuming, I see you, Brother Will. I'm assuming that more zip codes aren't added because of funding, I'm assuming.
Well, so when you go for certain educational grants like that, they don't allow you to just service every single body and make it wide open. You have to perform a certain way inside of the grant.
Proof of concept first, prove that it works.
Exactly.
Then we'll let you grow.
Exactly.
Okay, Brother Will.
Okay, this is awesome, but my problem is, I understand funding, but I don't, CUNY Homes and South Park, I'm just speaking,
Yes, sir.
I'm just South Park, but I don't care. Why isn't 33 included?
Why is it what the last?
77033. Why isn't that zip code included?
Well, so when it was originally written by the people that started it, it was just a miss. It was just kind of a miss that we got. So that's why it was amended, and we actually just got the go ahead to add that. But because of the government shutdown, we haven't been able to legally add those things to the flyers and stuff like that. But we definitely got the go ahead to add those as well.
So 77033 will be added?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And also, we also take participants, as you know, Housing Authority has a lot of different locations. So any of our residents or participants that want to participate in that live on one of those resident sites, they automatically qualify as well. So that automatically puts us in different zip codes.
So the high school have a similar program.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I was asking.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with that program? And is
I am familiar with that. I don't know all the ins and outs. And we are also not the only YouthBuild in the 50-mile radius.
Okay.
Also, I think SIR programs also have one as well.
Sir.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about
SIR?
SER.
SER.
Yeah. And that's the other cool thing about us as well. Like, although we do want these young adults to come in our program, I am not just typically,
Yeah.
even when we was doing the interview and I came on, I told him I am not somebody that gatekeeps. So if it's a kid that's not a good fit for us,
Yeah.
I would literally hold their hand and walk them to another program. Because at the end of the
We
day,
take you
I
across
want
the hall over here.
exactly. Exactly. My overall goal is to make sure that they become successful, no matter what they're doing.
Right.
Which is how my nonprofit on the other side, which is called EFI, and it just simply means Empowering Texas Families Initiative. What we do is we find those young adults that might be misfits in other different areas, and we help them. Literally, we pay for them the scholarships, whatever that they might want to do, whether it's barber school, whether that's beauty school, cosmetology, you name it, any type of trade that they can get, we actually pay for that out of pocket to make sure that they're able to go get those different trades.
Did you say any kind of trade they want to go get?
Any type of trade that they want to get.
In the construction field, trade period?
Trade period.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay, and that's, you said Empowering Texas Families Initiative?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
ETFI.
ETFI.
I got to research it, I'm sorry.
You can, and that's the website that is.
Hey,
it's on
man,
the
I'll be
other-
researching stuff.
Oh, you could. I want you to.
Hey, man, I got to do it. I got to do it.
Yeah, and the website is also included on that as well. I think it's in the other window.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, and as it relates to, now, this is one of my questions, so this is a good time for me to ask. I don't think you answered this initially, did I? Apologize. Why construction and the trades as it relates to the youth training? Why that focus? I think it's phenomenal, but for people who don't know, why are you guys focusing on those industries?
Because that is the foundation of YouthBuild. So
Okay,
YouthBuild, literally that building part is how it got started. It was about the construction side of it.
Okay.
Having them to literally build affordable housing, so that way that there was a place that they can live, but it was also something they can take ownership in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I actually built this.
I built
and
this. Okay.
So that's what it was. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then and with that, open them to any and all questions that anybody online or in person might have.
Okay. Will, did you have something real quick? I thought you were.
right there.
Okay. So,
I'll let you go.
okay, amen. So, you typically, when you talk about construction, I would assume the trades as well, but definitely construction is going to be more male dominated. Do you have females involved in the program? And if so, how do they do, and how do you let a female know that, okay, you can swing a hammer too if you want?
Yeah. So a fun fact, our first 3 signers was actually female.
Oh, really?
And they're the ones that's
They
actually
knew it was construction.
exactly. They're actually the ones that's been leading and heading us on a recruiting trail.
Really?
We have a group inside of it called Group Me.
Okay.
And every single day they send us, oh, I met this person, they want to sign up. So they literally lead the recruiting part of it. Now,
Wow.
two out of the three are interested in the IT side of it.
Okay.
So that could be anything from helping with like the blueprints to sites and different things like that that they can do inside of the IT. But one, she's actually very, very interested in doing the grunt work of it. And her future goal is not only just to get the nurse's certification and get into pipe fitting, but her overall goal by the time she's 30 is that she wants to be a structural engineer.
So she's doing the nursing and the pipe fitting?
Well, the nurser. So the nurser is the core.
NCC.
Yeah, gotcha.
Please said nurse.
Yeah.
Okay, so another acronym.
But she actually is a nurse too, though. That's what she does in the part-time. She's a CNA. She works overnight. Yeah.
You know how old she is approximately?
She is Precious is 22, and she's a person that actually is she's part of the Houston Housing Authority, but she's one of the foster aged out youth that kind of gets lost in the shuffle and lives over at was Sunrise Loft, which is over in the Edo area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I understand completely why being focused in a space like CUNY Homes would be beneficial. That's a given. But how do you go about, like you said, the young lady was raised in a foster system. Sadly, a lot of kids, especially African American kids, are in the foster system. Aside from where you guys are in CUNY Homes, how do you find your kids?
There's a lot of grunt work on the ground recruiting.
Yeah.
It's different organizations like such as yourself that do this amazing work that gets the word out.
Yeah.
It's law of averages. I'm a business-minded person, and the more
numbers.
The more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. So we knock on doors. Like myself, I go to a lot of different places, like shelters and stuff like that, where you have these young adults. We go to the mall, games, like you name it. We try to find them everywhere. And one of the other biggest partners that we have is some of these ISDs that might have kids that's looking to graduate early.
Yes.
But also you have kids that it's kind of like a win-win for them that might have been missing a lot of school because either for one, they're just not interested in it, or maybe they failed a class or so, and now I'm 17 and I'm a freshman.
Yeah.
So they're kind of where my education background, and I understand from a principal side, you're trying to get your TA scores up and your accountability scores. So I might go to the FIT, which just means families in transition, and help them with the attendance stuff or the truancy offers in the different districts, and say, hey, give me all your kids that have missed more than 20 days.
Okay.
And we start with the recruiting part of that 20 days, because in the state of Texas, you have to have what's called a 90 percentile seating to actually be able to pass. So a kid can have straight A's, but they miss more than 90%, or they miss anything more than 10% of their school year, they actually cannot legally pass to the next grade. So now they might be a grade behind. So next year, I'm 16, but I'm taking classes with freshmen. And then most kids, it comes to that mental health side of it. They just like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. Different things like that. So we try to find those kids as well. They kind of just got lost in the shuffle.
So a 16 or 17-year-old freshman, that happens.
Yeah, that definitely happens. That definitely happens.
Shit, I graduated when I was 17.
Yeah.
So
You should be a senior.
I'm thinking. So is that?
You're going a freshman.
Yeah. So does that typically way behind? Does that typically happen because of social family issues?
It can happen for a number of different things. I know. So when I first moved out here, I moved to take on one of those roles as an AP, and I'm working in South Fair. And one of my biggest roles, yes, sir.
All right.
So one of the biggest roles that I had out there was helping with those truancy situations. A lot of times you might have a Hispanic family or low income family that the kids might have to work or something like that, and then they just kind of got behind. Or it could have that, hey, I missed too many days because whatever the reason, or we was moving, or we moved over to Pasadena because the rent was up, and now I'm busting all over where the school districts actually provide transportation, but the kid now has to wake up at 5 in the morning instead of 7 to get all the way over there. So you have all these different unique diverse situations where it makes it hard for the kid to push through if they do not have those soft skills and different things that we talked about, or they don't see the big picture. And then all of a sudden 4 months go by and you can't catch up because now you have to stay after school to do tutorials to be able to make up those times. Well, I didn't want to come in already, so now I go from getting out of school at 3, I got to stay to 5, plus I also got to catch a bus back across town.
And that's where that mental it goes back to the mental.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're not mentally strong, you
exactly.
Okay, so do you ever have are there any stipulation as relates to if a child has a record as a youth offender? Maybe they broke the law and they've got into trouble.
We actually do not. One of the biggest partners that we're going after right now is to try to get a lot of the youth that are in the juvenile system. And no matter what it is, we try to work with them. We're trying to partner with a lot of different ones, whether it's court order or whether they just graduated out of it and they just need some assistance with certain things. We're literally welcome and open to everyone.
Now, I would assume that if a parent has a child who qualifies, they're in the age range that they hadn't done well in school, they're not doing well in school, I would think the parents will be, both arms wide open to welcome you guys in. That does not always happen where you get. Are parents sometimes a barrier to their kids being involved in the program?
It's like anything. We perish for the lack of knowledge, right? I'm a big Christian man, so I definitely believe in that. And a lot of times what happens is what you don't know or what you don't have an understanding of, you're kind of scared of. Because a lot of times people come around, they promise a lot of big things, and there's not a lot of follow through, unfortunately, in a lot of our field.
You mean the programs?
Programs. Whether it's their fault or not, sometimes they run into funding issues, whatever the case might be. So if that is the case with certain parents, then like I said, we try to literally spell it out for them, make it black and white. And if they accept it, they accept it. If they don't, then we try to refer them to another program that might be better for them.
So are there that many programs out there failing to come through for parents?
I can't speak to all programs, kind of what's going on. Sometimes it's always two sides and there's always a middle. The truth is there somewhere. Sometimes that is some of the rebuttals that we are getting, unfortunately. But that was also the same way when I was in sports. It was like, oh, the trainer failed me, so that's why my kid didn't get a scholarship. It was always the same thing, education. You always have those different things that kind of come up, or barriers that come up. So we try to literally eliminate all of those different distractions and reasons why you can't do something. We provide all these different referral stuff to make sure that whatever you're doing, if you fit, you don't have any excuses not to be.
I was just about to say, you want to.
We eliminate all the excuses, especially in my nonprofit side. There is no excuse because they don't lift a finger. So especially if they have Medicaid, different things like that, we literally go to the homes, knock on the doors, put them in the cars, take them to wherever they need to do. So yeah.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, brother, what I'm hearing you say is all a child and or parent has to have is desire to want to be better.
Absolutely.
If you got the desire to want to be better, then we'll give you everything you need to be better.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, okay.
Faith of a mustard seed. That's all you need.
And mustard seed, look.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right, so of the skills trades, which do you offer?
So right now we offer the construction side, and so this specifically speaking only on the YouthBuild part first. We offer the construction side. We also partner with one of our other grant funded programs underneath the Houston Housing Authority that offers like the nursing, different nursing stuff, whether it's CNA for.
Now you don't mean nurse NERS, you mean in.
Yeah, so like the actual nursing.
The actual nursing, NURSC.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
So we partner with one of our partners in there that's called Work Plus, Job Plus, that actually does that also inside of the Houston Housing Authority. And they are actually out in the Oxford location.
Where's that?
So that's right east of Springish.
Okay.
Right outside the inner loop, right outside the inner loop.
Okay.
So we offer that phlebotomy, and they have a few.
You said
other
phlebotomy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they also have a few other things that they offer as well, depending on where that participant qualifies.
Okay. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was thinking while you were talking. The construction trades are what that you guys are? What is it?
The construction part is so we use the big umbrella of construction because you never know exactly what the kid is going to go into based off how they test when it's time to do the NCCER testing.
Okay.
And based off their score level on there, it kind of determines which area we can get them interviews and different things like that.
Okay, that's a perfect segue to the next question.
Yes, sir.
How does a kid get involved? What is that process for them to be?
So the process is they just need to give us a document. So it's like the license, birth certificate, proof that they live in the area, in Houston area. That's specifically what we work with. So they have to be inside of the Houston area. It can't be like, oh, I'm way in Galveston for us. We can refer them to another program that might be closer there, but it has to be the Houston area.
So is it Houston, Harris County?
So it's just literally the city of Houston.
City of Houston, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
City of Houston.
All right.
And then from there, we need to see a copy of their transcript, whether they finished or didn't finish. What that does is help us gauge how fast, if they are interested in the high school part, how fast that they can graduate. So we can give them a realistic time frame. If there was a freshman, it might take them anywhere about 8 to 10 weeks to kind of pass all those different markers that they need to do self-paced. If it's a kid that came to us when he was a junior or senior, then they might be able to get out of there in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So what they do, they get online and they evaluate the transcript. It's a 21.5 national accredited high school. They can go to college straight from that if that's something that they want to do. And then what they do, evaluate the transcript, and if they only need 4 classes, that's literally can be a 2-week period.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on, it goes back to their desire and their work ethic with it.
Okay. So there is something to be said for the social development that happens with a young person in high school.
Absolutely.
From 9th to 12th grade, there's a lot, especially with sports, that a young person can benefit from, just from the socializing parts alone.
Absolutely.
So do you ever have a situation where you might have someone in the 9th or 10th grade, a young person, that for whatever reason they don't want to do the schooling part, they want to get out, at least they think they do want to get out and do the working part, and you guys say, well, not so fast kind of thing. So do you try to get kids to stay in high school because it benefits to that period of time in high school? Or do you take them and say, okay, well, you ready to go, we'll help you get out? How do you guys balance that?
So what we do is we do a wraparound interview.
Okay.
For myself on the nonprofit side, what I always like to focus on is the biopsychosocial interview. And it's like a mental health assessment to gauge where a kid is and how much they can take on, kind of where they are, the parameters, different things they might have going on. In the YouthBuild side of it, what we do is an orientation and we gauge them. We have a one-on-one with the case manager, and they sit there, they tell them everything that's going on, and we kind of build a plan around them. We might tell them, hey, you might need whatever 6 more months before you might want to join our program. Go get X, Y, and Z. We try to figure out their goals, the short-term goals, like realistic, smart goals, not just kind of like talking. I want to do this. Like we literally want to see it written down.
Give me an example of what those goals might look like.
So a goal could be, hey, my mom is struggling with such and such. I got 4 brothers and
Oh,
sisters.
okay.
I got 2 jobs. I want to
Okay.
help her get to such and such, but I want to get a trade. Like, I don't
Right.
want to just be working a dead end job.
Gotcha.
And I can't move up. Because a lot of times you have too, a kid might be at Lowe's specifically for construction, maybe.
Mhm.
And hey, like, I've been here 3 years, but I can't move up to become a supervisor because I don't have a high school diploma.
Right.
So that might be a barrier. So we try to eliminate those barriers for them so that
Okay.
way they can progress.
Okay, okay, that will definitely work. Now it sounds like your role, or even the people who are in the same position as you are, it sounds like you would be having, you should be having meetings, consultations, Zoom calls with not only the assistant principals, but with, do they still have guidance conference in there?
They do.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys will be working hand in hand as much as possible,
Yeah.
so that the guidance counselors know who you are, you know who they are, and you guys are working semiotically to move the child forward. Does that happen as well?
Yeah, it does happen. Stayed away with my education background. I know that the first month of the school year is always crazy, especially on the high school campus. It's busy.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily bother them in that last month when they're trying to do the master schedule and stuff like that. And they also in all these PDs to start the school in August. But we do send out emails, and so PD is a personal development. So like sometimes like, oh, these kids always out of school, like on those single days. That's what those days are used for, personal development, where the teacher has a chance to kind of restructure their days, come up with lesson plans that's going forward for the next few weeks for the kids, or get caught up on grading and different things like that.
Okay.
So we try to find them on those certain days that they have, so that we don't take them away from the education component. We meet with the guidance counselor, we meet with the truancy officers, all those different things, where it's quick Zoom meetings, or is it going there in person?
Mhm.
We've done that grunt work definitely all of September.
Okay. Now, because of what we do here at Thursday Morning Breakfast, because of my nonprofit that's the umbrella for Thursday Morning Breakfast, we are always trying to connect with the community, help the community move forward.
Absolutely.
And we hear all the time that the system is failing our kids are falling through the cracks, our kids are behind, all of which is true. It sounds like with your program in particular, that these things should not be happening, but they happen.
Mhm.
If your program exists and it's a good program and it works, why do we still have all these kids falling through the cracks?
I think it just kind of goes back to the information side.
Okay.
Sometimes people don't know exactly what they have. I know in my personal business, especially when it comes like to the FI side, we deal with all the time. We educate families what they can get through their Medicaid stuff. And they're like, oh, I didn't know I can get that. So it can be something that, like, we was dealing with a family yesterday that was late for an appointment. She's like, I couldn't make it over here. It's like, well, sweetheart, like, Medicaid would actually pay an Uber driver to take you down there. So it's just different things like that, letting them know the nuances of what they actually qualify for, and presenting them that information, and then setting it up in a way that it makes it easy for them, so that we can take away those barriers until we create those soft skills where they can formulate how to do it themselves.
So more often than not, it is a matter of them really not knowing all that's available to you.
Very seldomly do I run across parents, especially because, you know, as parents, no matter what, our only job that we're trying to do is protect and elevate our kids and make sure they have a better life than we do. So a lot of
a parent is worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of the parents that, you know, they got a lot of different things going on, which is why we also try to capture all the information we need immediately and not set all these different callbacks and stuff. Because if I'm catching a parent that just got off work, right? And, you know, I just got off work from 2 different jobs. I work overnight. I just got my kids home. I got to get them fed. And then now you want to come talk to me about a program. That's going to go one ear out the other when I'm also holding the baby in the hand. I'm trying to feed this one. So we try to catch them and have everything make sense right then. Not overboard them with a whole bunch of information, but get right to the nitty and gritty, and then, you know, get them signed up or whatever we have to do right then to try to capture all the information immediately. So that way we aren't, you know, we're not adding another obstacle for them to have to then go with. So like, even like the sign up the interest forms and different things like that, it's quick. It's like 5 different questions. Boom. We sign up for the orientation on the spot, so they know I'm already committed. My orientation next week. You don't have to think about anything else. So any other paperwork and stuff that might need to be done, we do that ourselves, and then we give it to the parents on orientation, whether that's in our counseling side that we do, or the youth development we do on my nonprofit, or whatever that looks like. That way, when they show up, it's like, boom, everything is laid out for you. We explain it, and here it is. Yeah.
So it sounds like the process, and correct me if I'm missing anything, or if I say something that's not right. You make an introduction. Do you start with the school or the agency that you're working with, or do you go straight to the child? Well, I guess that has to be.
We find out exactly what our kids are.
Okay.
And from being in the mental health side of it, you want to find out what the problem is and
Mhm.
provide a solution.
Okay.
All the other stuff I can be telling you about the greatest product ever.
Yeah.
But if I don't find out exactly what the problem is and what you might need help with or what you're wanting,
Problem with that child.
yeah, problem with that child,
Okay.
or even in not necessarily just the problem side of what I want or service that you want for your child.
Mhm.
If I don't find out what that is immediately, all the other stuff is just gonna be null and void.
Right. And
So we try to hit that nail on the head immediately.
okay. So after you do that and you identify that problem, is it then that you ask for time with the child to find out where they're coming from, or is there another step
Correct.
in there?
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
so you have a conversation with the child.
Yeah.
Explain, hear their side of what they want to do.
Mhm.
Explain what you can do for them.
Mhm.
And then at that point, do you already have the parents buy in? Then you go from there. What happens after the child say, I'm on board, let's do it. What's the
Yeah,
next
so
step?
we on board, and then it just kind of depends. If the parent is more so a parent that allows the kid to kind of make a decision on what they want to do with their career life,
Mhm.
then we go from that side, that we get the kid on board. So now you got a 2-on-1, marketing it to the parent, and it's like, okay, cool. He wants to do it. You obviously got it for him. Let's do it that way. It might be the other side. The kid might be resistant, and they like, no, I don't want to do that. You trying to
Okay.
whatever you trying to
Yeah.
spend my life. So we get the parent on board, and then we just present all the evidence to the kid.
Mhm.
And I try to be as very blunt and black and white as a kid I can.
Yeah.
Like I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm very, 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 very like direct with them.
Yeah.
And I tell them exactly what it is. We lay it out in front of them. And if they want to make the decision, then it's kind of on them at that point.
What is? I'm sorry. Any questions? What do you know what he's talking about? What he's doing?
No, I thought it was gonna be the housing authority youth build.
Yeah, it is him.
Same.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
this is Sister Yvonne,
Mhm.
Brother Brandon. So can you give her the elevator pitch so she'll? Oh,
So I remember you built from a long time ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So you all work with like the 16 to 24?
Yes, ma'am. So we work with 16 and 24, help them get construction trade or certification that they want to do in whatever type of career. And then as a plus, we help them get a high school diploma if they don't already have one. It's the program itself total is about 6 to 10 weeks. It's self-paced, so it kind of depends on their desire and what kind of goals that they have with us and how fast that they want to graduate. We have 3 different components, but we have a case manager, a job developer, and an instructor that we all partner, and we build a specific plan surrounding around that child or young adult, and then we get them graduated and get them into a career. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm a little bit big. Build.
Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all still build, like, cause I think they used to, do y'all still do that?
Absolutely, that is one of the components, and I was just telling, that's why we on the CUNY Homes location, because they're getting ready to renovate a lot of those different housing. So the plan is to have those kids ready, so that way when it's time for them to do that they're actually out there assisting with some of those projects and different things that they're building.
So y'all also work like construction trades?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Thank you, Sister Yvonne. Perfect segue to my next question. I noticed on the website that you mentioned this. You do IT, the Cisco Certified Network Administrator. So explain to us a little bit about that aspect of the program as well.
Okay. So that's one of the things that they get when they pass that nursing, so they're able to go into the IT side of it. Because no matter what we're doing, you have to have that IT side of it. You have to be able to deal with technology. As we know, that's something that's ever growing. If you don't, it's kind of just going to pass you by. So we want to make
sure. So if the kid is interested in construction, they have to do that.
Yeah, so they have to at least have the foundation of
Really?
like, the technical side of it.
Why? If
Well,
you want to
'cause-
explain a hammer, why you gotta learn about IT?
Because it's important to know like the blueprints of what you're doing,
Oh,
the measurements, all those
okay.
different things. Because everything, it has to be translated either into an Excel sheet or on some type of diagram or different plans or different things
Okay.
like that. So just because I measured it here how to cut the table, I also have to be able to make that so I can duplicate that later.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Okay.
And they work like 3D stuff?
absolutely. You do have the 3D blueprints.
I
all
didn't
those
think about
different
that.
things.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a whole facet that can go. It can be something as simple as literally just logging information with the IT side of it, or it can be something as huge as developing plans in 3D and all those different things.
Okay. So when a child graduates, a young adult graduates a program, they have a certificate in something, they have a diploma in something. How does that look? And then where can they go from there?
So they have a certification. So it's just like any trade. Like if I'm a barber and I graduate barber school, I have a certification and a license.
Okay.
So they would do the same, that they pass it. So now they have that state license of, hey, I'm certified in this, I can get a job in that. And it doesn't matter if they want to work at the plant, pipe fitting, whatever that looks like.
Mhm.
The bare minimum a lot of these organizations require is that nurse's certification and that IT and the OSHA training, safety training.
Mhm.
Because safety is the biggest thing a lot lot of times on these jobs and different things like that. So,
Do you place the young people, or do you say,
so we
congratulations, go get it?
yeah, so basically, so that's the job developer side. We build these
Okay.
pipelines and we get them to interviews. Now it's still up to them to close the deal.
Right.
I always explain to it's like dating. If I'm double dating, I can have a friend for you. I can't make her say yes to you.
Sure.
But I can bring you along
I can
and,
do my
and
part,
you
brother.
gotta I can do my part.
Lead you
And
to
you
the
got
water.
you gotta close the deal.
That's
So,
right.
Exactly. You gotta close the deal.
Okay, all right. So once they get the certification, you guys, lead them to the water for the interview. It's on them from there. Is there once they get the job, they start working, is there a part of the program where they come back and get enhanced training, or they have to take it from their
So
employer?
so they're young adults, right? So it's completely up to them. So we
Okay.
have these services, but they still have to want the service.
Sure.
So they're placed. We have these different things. That's what we're talking about. We follow them. So the first 2 years is mandatory that we follow them no matter what. Whether they want to or not, we're gonna be following with the employer, make sure that they got everything they need,
Mhm.
how they on the job, so forth and so on. After that mark, then it's up to them. Hey, I still need help with this.
Yeah.
What do y'all know about this? And different things like that. I know one of the construction guys that we hired, that's one of his things he's huge on, that he has this pipeline that he's always sending message boards, different things to them. Like, hey, you can get certified on this, you can up this helps with the pay. Hey, these are the new, this is a new certification. These are the new things that's coming out that you need to know about to keep up with whatever career or job that you're on. So we always are sending them information no matter what, whether they want it or not, we're presenting them with it.
Okay. And how long have you guys been active in Houston?
So just in Houston, it started this year.
So it just started?
Yeah, so
Okay,
it just started
okay.
with the housing authority side of it. Yeah.
Okay. But YouthBuild as an organization has been around since
Yeah.
the 80s.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, especially here in Houston, with the size of Houston, oil and gas industry, construction, it sounds like it would be, an easy sell, if you will.
Correct.
Because construction people, I'm assuming, I know in oil and gas, I used to work in oil and gas for a number of years in the IT space. There's always a need for people who know what they're doing.
Yes, sir.
Always. So it sounds like it would be, well, if like the guy you just mentioned, if he's always sending information about this is what you can do, and you guys are saying to the young people, this is what you can do, seems like the industry would welcome you guys with open arms, and it would be like an easy path forward.
Yes, sir.
Has that been the case?
That has been the case for the most part. We do have some partnerships that are still right now in underwriting with legal that we have MOUs and contracts with.
Okay.
And we have them actually going to view these sites. We've been on a few different field trips where they've been able to go and see these sites and different things like that.
The company or the youth?
The youth and the company side.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So those are things that's we're always trying to find something, to partner with
Right.
to be able to help and give them more information from, or like a pop, kind of pull out of.
Okay. Next question. I am former military,
Mhm.
and a lot of people, they don't understand across the board, no matter what you do, from the lowly grunt, if you will, to special forces. It all goes back to your mental.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are mentally strong, you're pretty much unstoppable because your mind is strong.
Absolutely.
And most people think, because of Hollywood, that to be a good, strong, especially when it comes to special forces, you gotta have the muscle, you gotta be the shooting gun, blah, blah, blah. That's a part of it, but that's not nearly, because when you go to these from basic training moving forward, no matter what training you go through, especially in the Army or the Marines, they're gonna try and break you mentally.
Absolutely.
Because the physical, it's not easy, but it's easier than the mental. They can
body
break you
follows the mind.
all day long.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people that the battle, the war is for control of your mind. As Morpheus O'Neill, you're a slave.
Yeah.
So explain, and that's the segue to my next question, is explain to me why you started, because that is your organization, right?
Absolutely.
TFI. What was the thinking that went into that, and why it's so important that we teach, especially our young brothers, young males, period, teach our kids about the importance of being mentally strong. Why did you start it? What was the motivation, and why is that so important?
My why is to build champions. So no matter what that looks
You
like.
said your what?
My why. Yeah, my why.
Oh, you said my why.
No, yeah, no.
How many you got, brother?
No, yeah.
The copy behind. Okay, your why. Don't get quiet.
Yeah. My why is
Yeah.
Exactly.
You hear why?
Yes, ma'am. WHY. And that came from literally, I just wanted to build champions.
Okay.
But it started off as a athletic thing.
I was about to say, it comes out of the sports.
Yeah, it came out of an athletic thing because our high school and different things that we came from is like it's a blue collar like it's a blue collar system in right outside of New Orleans, and we were always winning different things like that. A lot of times people thought it just came down to talent, but it came down to the mental makeup.
Sure.
And it started in the little league. And when I look back at it and started studying those different things, it was about the little small details of never giving up, how to be problem solvers,
Yes.
always relying like how to build your partner, different things like that, and always looking at everything, no matter what it is a positive. Doesn't matter. My house just burned down. Okay, Lord, what are you telling me in this season?
Right.
What did I need to get rid of? What did you want to concentrate from me that I can build off of?
Where's the silver lining? in that thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So always teaching them that no matter what you got going on, everything is looked at as a good.
Mhm.
Whether it's sharpening me to get me stronger,
Yep.
or it's allowing me to meet somebody new or get me out of my comfort zone.
Right.
So that's where the FI came from.
Okay.
And that acronym is like empowering. Like we was very strategic about that.
And the
Like,
acronym is?
Empowering Texas Families Initiative. So we want to empower them. So it doesn't matter what that looks like. If I need soft skills from learning how to simply win the day with making up my bed. Like a lot of people don't understand, like in the military is one of the first things they teach you.
Sure.
How to dress, how to make up your bed, because you have to win as soon as you wake up. So if I can do those disciplined, small incremental things, those increments is what leads to those big wins.
Right.
So we want to empower them no matter what that they're going through. Let me show you how to turn this into empowering you.
Okay.
So now you have a why or purpose what you're doing. The Texas side, obviously, because we're in the state of Texas.
That's right.
And then we want to build family. And I'm a big advocate believer that a lot of times people look at it, oh, my family bring me down.
Mhm.
I always tell young adults, and there's always been my mental side of it, that you can't choose who you kin to, but you can formulate your own family.
Sure.
And the people that you can depend on,
Yep.
that's how I always establish who my family are.
Yep.
I don't choose them. I allow God to kind of place them in there, and then I let their actions over time become, okay, this is my qualification, what my family looks like, and this person has shown that they can be a valuable piece to that. And the initiative is that you got to show initiative, whether it's us giving it to you. I tell them, like, I would literally walk up to the 99-yard line with you, all the way up to the 1-yard line from the other side of the goal line, but I will not push you over. Like, you have to take the first step.
You gotta want it.
You gotta want it. And then once I see that you want it, then I would do anything for you.
Yeah.
Like just last night, I have a couple of kids I used to coach in both college and high school. They're playing NFL right now. And they was messaging one guy. He was discouraged because he was on, the practice squad. Man, it's coming up. I'm on my 4th year. If I don't get signed this year, I'm not gonna be able to get my pension. Blah blah blah. And kind of walking them through that. It's like, okay, well, how can you segue this? That way this can become now your pivot. Like, how do I use that to become my why, and what's the fuel for those different things?
Right.
So that's literally how the company started. It came from the sports psychology side of it, and how it partners into this. I've never dealt with grants or Medicaid or insurance and stuff like that.
Okay.
But once I started seeing that, we was like, when I became a head football coach, athletic director, we had a lot of young adults that had these barriers that, hey, coach, I got to leave practice, or I can't make practice today. It was like finding out the why. It's like, oh, well, I got my brother and sister, I got to get them off the bus. Mom, she's working tonight, so I got to be there. I can't. A lot of
life,
life is happening
life.
to everybody. So we wanted to establish some different things that we can help them with those different things, and then we learned, like, through Medicaid, there's a lot of different things that they actually pay for to be able to help and assist these families.
Okay.
So once we found out those different things and I got into the nitty gritty of those, we just started combining both of them together. So we formulated a nonprofit that for the families that do not have Medicaid, and then for the families that do have Medicaid, we basically married them together. So we help with like the sports side, we help with the mental side, we help with the case management, we help with the clothes, the rental assistance, anything that might be preventing our young adults or families from being able to be their absolute best, whether that's food, whatever the barrier is, we work to eliminate that and eradicate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that you started the nonprofit side, and then you got connected with the Medicaid, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Because one of my that's a lie. Question just popped in my head. It wasn't one of my questions. Was this current administration, and how much, again, Brother Will and I were talking about this on the ride up, how aggressively they are attacking the social safety net. And of course, Medicaid is a part of that social safety net. So if you guys are partnering with Medicaid to do the greatest amount of good, but they're cutting out the Medicaid, how is that going to affect how you guys do what you do, because it's sorely needed?
So 50% of my nonprofit is funded by me. It's
Okay.
like for whatever other business and stuff I got going on, I literally always put 50%. So I do 20% tithing, and I do 33% giving, find a different organization and give my money to personally.
Okay.
That's just directly from me. So 50% of what we have going on in our nonprofit is myself.
Mhm.
And then we take 33% of the for-profit business and we also filter that with nonprofit. I got into the housing authority side because I've never dealt with grants.
Okay.
So I wanted to learn a bunch of different things about grants, which is how I partnered up with them and Dr. Norton, who used to be the previous CEO. Dr. Norton,
Dr. Norton, okay.
he used to be the previous CEO of the housing authority.
Okay.
So I learned a lot from him when it came to like these grants, how do you bargain these different things, pair them up together. And another part of it is partnering with organizations like yourself
Mhm.
that lead us to other partners, constituents that are doing some of the similar work.
Yeah.
And then we lean together and work alongside of each other and for the same mission.
Okay. And how old is your nonprofit?
My nonprofit now is 3 years old.
Okay, so your model that you just described is working.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
And when it comes to like the high school and certification and different things like that, that is something that we was actually doing before I even knew about the YouthBuild.
And did
side
you
of it.
approach the housing authority or did they approach you?
I approached them I had an MOU with them when I was doing a lot of the mental health on their different locations.
Okay.
And then when they brought up the YouthBuild, I was like, oh, that already aligns. We're already literally doing this work.
Mhm.
So we've been doing it. We just been paying out of pocket for it. So I wanted to see what it was like,
Okay.
actually doing it for an organization that already has a lot of these funds
Right.
that, that is free for them for. So,
Okay. My next question is, well, two-part question. I lied, three-part. Since the need and the mission of YouthBuild is so great, and the mental side, ETFI side that you guys bring to the table is huge. It might be huger. I show you bonding of the day. Sure. Why not put your funds that are needed for this big mission back into your own nonprofit as opposed to funding other nonprofits?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be spiritual led when it comes to those different things.
Okay.
I always believe everything has a season.
Okay.
I've seen the ups and downs of how things fluctuate. So I wanted to find something that was concrete and had a solid foundation that no matter what's going on,
Mhm.
it's going to be in service in that way.
Yep.
Our constituent and participants doesn't lose out on certain things.
Okay.
Like no matter what's going on, the housing authority, no matter what city you're in, that is something that's stable.
Yeah.
It's always going to be around.
Yep.
So I wanted to find out different ways on how do they always stay as a pillar, either no matter what people agree or disagree with how they're doing certain things,
Okay.
in whatever city they're in, but how do they stay constant and how they always around? So that's why I wanted to make sure I got the foundation of that in my company, because like you talked about the Medicaid side, there's a lot of AB programs, different things like that, and counseling programs that
Yeah.
work on Medicaid and targeted case management that you see them go out of business all the time.
Yep.
So I wanted to make sure that however we built it from the foundation, that it was sustainable.
Okay.
So yeah.
So in between my other two questions, another one popped up. Sorry, that's how my brain works.
Absolutely.
The mental health moniker
Mhm.
has become a kind of like a catch-all for a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even sure if all of these mental health nonprofits, I'm not sure if we need them all.
Mhm.
I'm not even sure if they're really real. People just trying to make money, get grant money. I don't know. But it is real. It is real.
Absolutely.
So how does the reality of the mental health issue when it comes to impoverished, oppressed people, how does that factor into what you do? Like, how do you deal with that very real issue, and how does that play into the long-term plan for ETFI?
The long-term plan for ETFI is to be a one-stop shop. We want
Okay.
to marry academics, we want to marry mental health, we want to marry the educational
Is
component.
that already there?
Well, so we do those, but I want to do it on a larger scale.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we want to marry all those different things and then also start adding the athletic side of it.
Okay.
I want to be I want to tie in everything that I've ever done,
I got
basically
you.
be like an after-school program.
Yeah.
Where we have facilities where kids get dropped off from buses, different things. They come into an organization or building and they have to, okay, what am I doing? I'm going to mental health, I'm going to life skills, or I'm going to academics. Once I do that, now I get to go get these free athletic trainings and different things like that that are also helping me, whether it's sports psychology, basketball, specific, soccer, football, whatever that looks like. But all those different things are married into one, but they can also get the academic tutor plus the mental health side of it.
There was a I can't remember the name of, damn it. There's an organization that is a multi-billion-dollar organization, and I'm pretty sure that they primarily focus on sports. And if you see some of their campuses, it looks like a college campus, but it's high school.
Yeah. Oh yeah. IMG.
IMG.
Yeah.
What's that?
I am damn G.
I can't remember what it stands for, but I partnered with them a few times. We used to recruit from some of their locations.
Yeah, tell her about IMG. It
So
is-
IMG is based in Florida. That's the foundation. And basically families send their kids there to get specifically sports training. And you have to be, like a top-notch, pretty,
It is
athlete
huge.
and stuff like that.
It is
You have to
huge.
have that foundational base, but they also teach you how to train and structure your life so that way when I get to a college campus, everything is seamless. Because a lot of times you have these big-time athletes or big-time stars. What happens to them, like you come from being a big old whale in this little ditch or pond or canal, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and I get to this big campus, everybody is also that. But if you don't have those small soft skills that are necessary, how to structure myself, how to budget my time, how to work on multitask, because I got school, I got education, I got social, but I also have these athletics that are paying for everything. So now you add the NIL side of it, where now it goes from parents
Hold
wanting
on, you know NIL?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you add the NIL side of it, and then now you got families who are dealing with a lot of different things we just talked about, might be on Medicaid or whatever. Mom needs money, so
Yeah.
I got all these people that have now become like kind of a crutch to me because I have access to these funds. So now you add that also into that. So IMG does a really, really good job of preparing kids as a wraparound service with athletics kind of being the center side of it, but teaching them how to deal with a lot of those other things so that way they can be successful.
It is a global, and I do mean global, because they are all over the world.
Hmm.
It is a global sports academy for young people. And from the, I'm gonna say from the non-conscious, unconscious Black side of it, and the billion-dollar sports side of it. This is gonna sound harsh, but this is how I look at it. It is I want to say plantation system, because a lot of our kids are not given what you're trying to give them so that they understand that I can do something with this physical gift to make myself, my family, my community better, as opposed to just looking at it as me, myself, and I, and being used and then kicked out. So it is a global sports academy that they have their own culture, they have their own branding, they're making billions, and they take in these young athletes and they prepare them for a professional sporting career, and they're making a bunch of money along the way. What I love about your answer as it relates to your long-term vision for ETFI, that's right, ETFI, yeah, is I'm Black 24/7, and I mean that spiritually, physically, mentally. I mean that. That's what I do. We Black people, we need an IMG Academy, but we need an IMG Academy that's not about just making money or just being for the athlete. We gotta survive and push back against a very organized threat and enemy, but we don't have that. So for me, IMG is a model for what we could have that we will never have without people like you. And this is another reason why Thursday morning breakfast is so important, because what you do is invaluable because we don't have enough people doing it. We got a lot of people, we know our kids are in sports all day long. And if our kids, our brothers, our sisters were conscious and they realize that if they all took a knee, what they gonna do? They're gonna change, because without you, they have nothing. But we don't know that because we're not that mentally mature enough. We're not there yet. But if we can have an IMG that raises our kids to be there from day one, then you're talking about a revolutionary chess move. That's a game changer.
Absolutely.
So I'm not sure if you thought about it like that, but that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because our kids are pushed to be athletes more than being an engineer anyway. They're pushed to be an athlete before they be a doctor, before they get whatever. Because our people sadly believe that is the only way out, and that's not, because God gave you a brain and a gift. So we got to find a way to infiltrate that cultural push from America and use that to get our kids to understand that, amen, you were blessed to jump high, run fast, or whatever the hell. But you were also given other gifts.
Absolutely. How do you got to barter your gifts to be able to,
and we got to develop those gifts, because everybody's born to do something. So while you are being a physical athlete to do whatever, amen, go do your thing. Be LeBron, build businesses, develop your friends, build community, build schools, and one thing about ETFI is that I see you being on that path, which is why I asked that question. Because a lot of our people aren't where you are in that we don't understand that the athletics can be used
Absolutely.
to do something that goes beyond making billionaires more billions. But if we don't have the IMG academies, if we don't have Professor Xavier School for Mutant Children,
Yeah.
which is a part of our model, if we don't have that, then our kids will always be developed to be somebody else's.
And you become codependent on somebody else's success.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, so if we don't implement a solution to break the chain of the mental enslavement, then our kids will always be seen as a dollar sign by other people because we don't have our own IMG academy.
Absolutely.
And I asked that question because I wanted to hear your response, because most people don't, they're not thinking that far ahead.
Absolutely. And that's why we try to barter that mental health side by bringing that IMG or that type of stuff into each home, because that's where it has to start at. You have to build, recreate the foundation. That way the family is thinking like that. Like, what is your lesson plan for your family? Like, what are your goals this week? What are you trying to get done? We always try to, like, I know with my kids, always try to talk about what's the word of the week. Like, what are we trying to learn?
There you go.
How can we add vocabulary, different things? So if you're doing those little things over the course of the year, by the end of the year, you've already had 52 goals that have been accomplished. And so I always tell people, like, when people look at reading books as a bad thing, if you write a book and it took you 4 years to do it, and I just read it in a month, I got 4 years worth of knowledge in 30 days. So now I don't have to go through those same exact things that you're going through, or that you've been able to pass those different things down. So I just try to change the mindset of a lot of the young adults that we deal with, or kids. And we, in the FI side, we deal with kids all the way from 3 to 17 on the Medicaid side.
Really?
So it's a large group. So we try to restructure the way that they think.
And the beauty of that you say word of the week or word of the day?
Word of the week and the word of the day is just kind of depends on the capacity, either of the family or the child.
Okay. The beauty of that is that you can always build upon it.
Absolutely.
So word of the day, word of the week, whatever the hell, you're building upon it. So over a year, you got 52 new words.
Exactly.
And that's that first year. But what we used to do with our kids when they were little, we had something that we called 52 lessons in 52 weeks. Where every week we will watch a different documentary or movie.
That's amazing.
Because we want our kids to understand, you Black, this is America. You got to understand it. And my oldest two, my oldest, she'll be 30 next year. My next one is 28. 27, 28. They hated it when they were little. But as Black women, I can't tell you how many times they've come back and thanked their mother and I, because they were all raised to have standards, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. And they've been called names because they wouldn't put up with certain things, but they were like, your loss. And we did that on purpose because we wanted them to end up like they are. And if we as a community, as a village, don't do that, then the system is always gonna,
And that's what we got to get back to, the village.
100%.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't want you in that business certain things, but it takes a village. So
it takes a village.
You got to have all these, and that's the other thing. We were forming, like in our organization, a lot of times people have like big brothers, big sisters. We're forming our organization side of our company. That's called aunties and uncles. Okay. Because like a lot of times the coolest people that you was around when you was younger, like, oh, that's my uncle, that's my auntie. So we building that right now, building it out where you have accountability partners that might be, if I want to be, want to be a beautician, I got this lady that, might have her own beautician. So now she's able to take me under her wing, show me how she's done this and teach me the blueprint while also kind of put my own spin on it. So those are different things that we're forming with those different things as well, to try to recreate that village.
Right. And we don't understand that, well, a lot of us don't understand that village is necessary and needed, especially now. But with so many things being attacked and taken apart, if the village doesn't step up, the child don't have a snowball chance in hell. Because the child don't have a clue. But the village is supposed to be made up of adults. We know what it means to be an adult in this system. So we got to prepare our kids. So that's why I asked the question about ETFI. And thank you for answering what's going on. So what is the long-term vision for YouthBuild?
Long-term vision of YouthBuild is to become a staple in the community that every school, every organization is trying. Basically, you want to create a waiting list that you got all these kids want to come into. So that way you're forced to have to expand and open up new campuses and different things like that. That is the overall goal of it, because there's no reason that it can't be sustainable and duplicated in other areas.
That's right. Okay, last two questions that I have is if we have parents that love what they've heard, aunties and uncles, want to get their nieces and nephews and their kids involved, how can they get their child connected with you?
Okay, so they can simply send an email if they want the youth build side of different thing. They can send an email to Mitchel at housingforhouston.com. And also get that we have an email that's called YouthBuild HHA at housingforhouston.com. And you can simply also go to the housingforhouston.com website.
Is this the short email or the long one?
That is, so that's the one that goes to everybody that's on the youth build
Okay.
program. Yeah, so so that email is probably the best one because it'll get sent
Okay.
out to myself plus everybody that's on the youth build team.
Okay.
And no matter what the ask is, it'll get directly sent to that
Okay,
person.
so for those of you that can't see it, is HHA Youth Build, all one word, at at housingforhouston.com. HHA Youth Build at housingforhouston.com. Okay, so that's if parents or aunts and uncles want to get involved. And if a person wants to donate to your nonprofit, how can they do that?
They can call me directly. I always give out my personal direct number to that. That's 346-491, and that's 4604. 346-491-4604. And the email for that is info@5nonprofit.org. info@5nonprofit.org. All right. info@5, so ETFI nonprofit.org. Yes, ma'am.
So my last question, brother, thank you for coming out. I sincerely appreciate it. This will not be the last time you hear from me, I guarantee it.
Yes, sir.
As I told you earlier, we try to get out into the community three Saturdays of every month, for a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is to let whomever opens that door, let them know that there is help, there's assistance. And we've had a few people that, one of the last questions I ask is I let them know that my nonprofit is connected to several other nonprofits. Do you have a need, no matter what it is?
Absolutely.
And I'll say maybe 1 out of every 6 or 7 families, I want more I want my kids to be connected to something. And it's usually more male than female. So the fact that you exist and you do what you do, and I got to get some literature for you because I want to have I'm working on a what I call a community benefits package.
Absolutely.
Where I can give people a package of information that's free. All you gotta have is the initiative. I'm taking you to the 99, you gotta get across, I'm gonna do my part.
Yeah.
So it's important that our people, poor people, grassroots people know that you're not alone in this thing. But you gotta reach out, so I want to make sure that I am offering people real serious, concrete, show enough solutions to whatever issues they might have because the solutions exist. Like you just said, they just don't know about it.
Yes, sir.
So I want to make sure that I make that connection. So what can I do as well as other nonprofits? What can we do to help move your vision and your company forward?
Just mostly getting the word out, and
Okay.
anybody that that touch a lot of young adults, especially on the nonprofit or the Medicaid side that do have Medicaid, different things like that, getting us in front of them, sending them the QR code, information. We have one pagers that literally lists every single thing we do. That's not too much information. It engages them enough that they want to know information about. I can send you that, kind of get that out as well. But yeah, we're literally just about helping people, whether it's us being able to help or somebody else being able to help. If we're not a good fit, I would literally walk you to another organization.
Across the hallway.
Yeah, might be another fit for you. Because at the end of the day, our goal is to make sure that our young adults and our families and the kids and different organizations are able to serve.
Cool. Okay, brother. Much appreciated. Let me wrap this thing up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming. And I want everybody to know that let me find this flyer real quick. This is why. How do I minimize this? This is why we do what we do with Thursday morning breakfast. This is why this thing was started. Of course, we want to build bridges, and we want to connect the community with people who are doing the work that matters. People who are out here bringing answers and solutions to the community. People that are doing things that the community can benefit from. I have no idea. There it is. And this brother is one of those persons. So as I try to do every Thursday, I let people know about, not just the Thursday morning breakfast, but of course, I remember what I'm doing. our digital magazine that we started a few weeks ago. This is our 30, let me share this. This is our 34th issue, I think. And this is our speaker, if y'all recognize Sister Dominique, our speaker last week. So, and Brother Brandon will be on the cover of the next magazine coming out next Tuesday. We do what we do here because there's a lot of good happening in the city on multiple levels. But like Brother Brandon said, people aren't able to benefit from it because for whatever reason, they don't know about it. So since we are active in getting out into the community, we want to be the bridge between all that good. Because people need to know, especially now with this administration and what's happening with our people and to our people. So we started, the name of the parent organization for Thursday Morning Breakfast is the Grow for Care Alliance. We started Grow for Care Digital because there's so much happening. And we have an upcoming event called Building Within Project 2025. It's here, it's happening, so now what? And we having that Zoom event because when we were talking about Project 2025 last February, people didn't believe it. They can't do that. It's too big. It's a scare tactic by Democrats, blah, 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 blah. Well, these people are ahead of schedule. And this is just the beginning. There's something else that they are doing called the Rock Bridge Network. That they're calling it Project 2025 on steroids. So if Project 2025 is designed to restructure the executive branch of the US government, which is 15 national departments that touches everybody's life. Veterans, homeless, housing, youth, food. They want to restructure all of that and have the president, no matter who he might be, just happens to be Donald Trump, the president will control all of that. That's what they're doing with this version of Project 2025. Rockbridge Network is Project 2025 on steroids. So we have to understand, we melanated African descendants, we got to understand that we were brought here for a reason. And that reason was not to stand in the Black-owned establishment and talk about Black stuff. That's not why we were brought here. And a lot of people want us to get back to the reason why we were brought here. If we don't want that to happen, we got to mobilize, organize, connect, push back. Because they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to wake up every morning being lions, and we can't wake up every morning being gazelles trying to pray the lion becomes a gazelle. It don't work that way. So we do what we do. We started the digital magazine because we know that answers and solutions exist. We know that we have committed community members, strong sisters, strong brothers doing the work. But again, Brother Will and I, we talk about this morning. We talk about a lot this morning. On the drive up, if we don't find a way to work with people who are doing the work, if we don't get the individualistic people out of the way because they're in the way, so that we can do the work to make sure our children are in a stronger position, we're going to lose. And what's so scary about this time around, if we lose this time around, we're not gonna have another chance. They ain't gonna end up coming back from what they're planning on doing. So we gotta pay attention. We gotta connect with people who are doing the work, because the work is not easy. It's not easy to work with the people who've been programmed to hate themselves. I tell people all the time, the Negro factory, and I usually use a different word for that. The Negro, the other N word, that factory is on automatic pilot. A lot of this stuff we're doing to ourselves. And we're doing to ourselves because we refuse to think independently of other people. And we don't do what needs to be done to connect with people who are doing the work. It would be a lot easier for Brother Brandon if he had a staff of 100 people, helping him do what he wants to do. You heard about his vision. As a people, we need that vision. If you don't know what IMG Academy is, Google it. IMG Academy. Google that and look at what they do for athletes. And then think about how powerful we could be if we did it for our own youth. And we taught other melanated groups, other grassroots groups, poor people, no matter what they look like, how to do the same thing. Because the grassroots outnumbers anybody else. We really could be in a position to run a lot of stuff if we got the right systems and people in place. The people exist, they just need our help. And I'll end it on this note. When it comes to voting, a lot of people that look like me, they think that voting don't matter. They think it's a waste of time. But what they don't realize is that other groups with money, they've been sending their kids to political camps since the 1930s. learning how to run cities. I mean, literally, this is what they've been doing. We're saying voting don't matter. They're sending their kids to political camps to learn how to run cities. If we don't have our own IMG Academy, if we don't help this brother get to where we need him to be, I don't know what his personal motivations are, but we need him to be where he wants to be, because that's the only way we're going to get our kids in a position to be bigger, better, and stronger. It's okay to be a good athlete, but it's not okay to not have your mind free. If you don't have control of your mind, you're going to be a slave, which is what they want. So we want to be Morpheus. We want to find all the little Neos to help them understand that the battle is for your mind. And if we can get your mind to be free, then you can do whatever you want to do with your body and everything else that follows. But that's on us, the village, and it's not on the child. So thank you again, Brother Brandon, for being here. Thank you for showing up, Sister Yvonne and Brother Will. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Y'all have a good day. God bless. Take care.